Jordan Peterson and Michael Saylor, and why Bitcoin is the ultimate opportunity in 2025. I finished listening to the podcast. In fact, I actually watched it, the podcast between Jordan Peterson and Michael Saylor, where basically Michael Saylor makes the case for Bitcoin to Jordan Peterson and he tries to explain it to him. Not just explaining Bitcoin, but explaining how he discovered Bitcoin and why he went all in on Bitcoin. And I have to say, from listening to the podcast, I mean, I've listened to pretty much, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of podcasts by both Michael Saylor and Jordan Peterson, although I'm not much of a fan of Jordan Peterson, but I like Michael Saylor. And I was quite impressed with the track record of Michael Saylor's investing history. In other words, Michael Saylor in the early 2000s, when I was just a kid, when I was still in primary school and middle school, and all I cared about at the time was how to win video games and how to finish this game or that game, and I was obsessed with video games at the time. And even if I wanted to buy domain names like what Saylor did in the early 2000s, in fact, even in the late 90s, I wouldn't have been able to do that because I was broke as fuck. I was a kid. That's not to mention the primitive banking system in Morocco at the time. But anyway, I was impressed by Saylor's ability to spot the opportunity, to spot good opportunities. So basically, he spotted the future of real estate. Digital real estate in the 90s and in the 2000s was domain names. So he went on and he bought hope.com, voice.com, a lot of domain names, and he made a shit ton of money from them. He said that in the podcast with Jordan Peterson. He also bought the Apple stock when many people thought that Apple ain't gonna make money. The same thing with Amazon when it was risky. So he bought a lot of Apple stock. He bought a lot of Amazon stock. So we can say that Michael Saylor was a visionary. He can see, he can spot the opportunity before everyone else. And I think that's what he did with Bitcoin as well. Now, for me, I would say I missed the domain name opportunity because I was young. And I mean, when I was young, I couldn't even buy stocks if I wanted to. I mean, I was young and I was in Morocco, and opening a brokerage account in America was like completely unthinkable. So I didn't even have those opportunities. I mean, I had the opportunity to buy domain names, but I didn't have the means to do it, and I was too young. But with Bitcoin, I do feel a little bit guilty about Bitcoin because I discovered Bitcoin around maybe 2013. Maybe I heard about it for the first time in 2010, 2011. But of course, I was still in high school at the time, and I kept hearing about it throughout all those years, but I didn't give it much attention. I didn't give it much dedication. That's not to mention that I was also broke. I didn't have a lot of money to invest, although Bitcoin was quite cheap at the time. Even in 2016, 2017, Bitcoin was cheap, and I didn't buy it. And I didn't have what Michael Saylor likes to call laser-like focus. For example, Michael Saylor, when he was buying Apple stock and Amazon stock, many of his friends, I mean, he said this in the podcast, many of his friends told him, or maybe you should diversify. When it goes up, take half of the profit and go diversify in other stocks. And he makes the case that why would you diversify? Why would you buy the losing assets when you can double down on the winning assets? If Apple stock is performing better than everything else, why are you going to take money from the Apple stock and put it in the inferior assets or the inferior stock? And it's the same thing with Bitcoin. I knew Bitcoin since 2016, 2017, but I came at it from like a political standpoint. I didn't look at it as an investment. I saw it as a way to undermine government money. That's how I saw it. So I didn't think of it as an investment. And at the time, I was too busy thinking about e-commerce and how to make money online and doing all kinds of things. I was doing a lot of different things at the time. And I wasted a lot of money doing these online businesses. I made money, but I wasted a lot of money. And I say to myself, if only I took all that money that I put in those online businesses, if only I took that money and bought Bitcoin with it, I would have made way more money than I ever made in my entire life. So that's the kind of regret I have. But it's not really a regret because I understand I was in a I was in a different situation at the time and I had different priorities and I had different worldview. That's why I made a video recently saying this: Bitcoin makes you a better person. Bitcoin lowers your time preference. Bitcoin makes you think better when it comes to how you spend your money and how you invest your money and how you even invest your time and resources. And so what you can take from this Jordan Peterson, Michael Saylor podcast, which I recommend you go and watch, is that you have to spot the opportunity and you have to go all in on that opportunity. And I believe that the opportunity right now in 2025 is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still early. It's only 4% of the population, of the global population, own Bitcoin. That means you are early. Bitcoin is still less than $1 million. It's still the price is $100,000. It's still cheap compared to $1 million, $10 million, $20 million. So you are still early. You can still buy Bitcoin. You can still leverage whatever thing you have to buy even more Bitcoin. This is the opportunity of 2025. Forget about e-commerce. Forget about, I don't know, trading or whatever. Forget about all of this. Bitcoin, and maybe something else like YouTube. I also encourage people to do YouTube. I mean, I'm doing YouTube right now. I don't get a lot of views. I mean, some of my videos perform good. Some of them barely get 10 views. But I will keep pushing. Because I also missed the YouTube opportunity back in the early 2000s. I mean, YouTube was founded, it started in 2005, if I remember correctly. And many of the multi-millionaire YouTubers like PewDiePie and who else? Mr. Beast as well. I think both of them, they started in 2010 and 2012 and they didn't stop. And here is the funny thing. I also started on YouTube in 2008 and I made a shit ton of magic videos and I became quite popular in my hometown, but I couldn't monetize the magic. There was no monetization model on YouTube at the time, so I had to stop. Because I was busier. I got busy. Life happened, let's just say life happened. I had to make money. I had to focus on other things. So that's why I say in this channel, do not spread your focus too thin. You have to have laser-like focus on Bitcoin and on something that you can work on that doesn't require monetary capital for a long period of time. And that's YouTube for me. I would also recommend you can start YouTube because building an audience is crucial and buying Bitcoin is crucial in 2025. So yeah, if you missed the domain name opportunity, digital real estate, if you missed the YouTube opportunity in the late 2010s, around that time, if you missed Bitcoin in 2010, if you missed Bitcoin in 2013, 2015, 2016, even 2020, don't miss it in 2025 because it's still early. This is your opportunity to go all in on Bitcoin. Dedicate time to learn about Bitcoin. Dedicate your energy to understand Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin with the money you have. Try to buy Bitcoin with money you don't have. If you can get a loan and buy Bitcoin. And that's all you have to do. You're going to simplify your life. You're going to make more money and you're going to have a much more fulfilling existence that way. So yeah, that's all I have to say in this video. Let me guys know what you think in the comments below. If you did watch the podcast between Jordan Peterson and Michael Saylor, let me know what you think about it in the comments section. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you think this video was helpful or it brought any kind of value, send it to a friend or two. Help this channel grow so I can keep making videos. And see you in the next one. Take care.